Hey there. Good afternoon. We're live. We are live, and just because I'm streaming today, I have this hideous thing on my nose, right on the side where I have my camera. So let's see how that goes. Welcome. Welcome. To be honest, today, I didn't invite a lot of people because I'm also going to edit a version of this which is shorter and more condensed. So there's more like if you want to, keep me company. This is not a video like for entertainment purposes. I'm going to be working live, building a nice dashboard, and then you can see my process. You can see my thought process behind it and how to do the legal things in Looker Studio, how to make them nicer, prettier, more organized. And also, of course, as I'm drilling down into the App Store and Google Play data, you can see how it is composed, how does it work, what metrics are there, what can you do with it. So those are the kind of details that I'm going to show on this live. I think this is going to be a longer session compared to last week, because last week I think we set the basis of our project. We defined. Let me show you, by the way. So we started with this. So we made our plan. We decided that we're going to start with a dashboard for a free app. So it's an app that's not making any money from subscriptions or from advertising. We also listed who are the people that are going to use it. I think it's mostly it's marketeers, it's business people who want to see the performance of the app in terms of especially downloads, I would say, and acquisition. But maybe also product managers, because they are likely interested in both the acquisition component, but also the product health metrics. So the crashes, the ANRs, the ratings, the reviews, that sort of stuff as well. And then from there, we listed some metrics and dimensions that we want to use. And then what we've done was this, right? So we created kind of this, should I remove the zoom? Yeah, so we made this overview front page where you see a summary of all your metrics. So for example, for Google Play, I have my uninstalls, and active devices. I have the same for the App Store here. Then I also have the store performance, as I call it, which is the funnel inside the store. So from an impression in the case of Apple, or a visitor in case of Google Play, then the conversion rate, and then how many acquisitions or downloads you got from these impressions or visitors. Then we also added some of the hygiene metrics like ratings, reviews, crashes, and ANRs in case of Google Play. And from the App Store, I forgot to put it here, but we could also bring if I'm not mistaken, we have crashes as well. So we can look into that. But then in the end, I also got the idea that we could have multiple versions of this, right? Because, for example, maybe I want a more condensed view because maybe this is a lot. Maybe crashes or ANRs are not interesting for me. So I also made this version, which is, you can see it's much more concise. So I can see the App Store, Google Play. I'm also going to add some icons here. I think that would be nicer. And then from here, I want to have these links where you can drill down this information. So for example, if you want to see the details of your installs, like per country, for example, or per app version, you could have these links here to help you navigate within this dashboard. So also something that I want to introduce for these templates is the idea of kind of multiple versions of the same page, because maybe some people will like this more, other people will like this more, maybe other people, because I don't know, maybe you have, for example, multiple apps, so you want to have that here. Or maybe you even have multiple developer accounts. Like if you are an agency, for example, maybe you have many clients and then you only want to see installs, but then coming from like dozens of different accounts. we could also have something like that. I think on the last episode of this season, we are going to we're going to have a special session for agencies, because I think that's a more complex use case. Cool. So just also before getting started, again, this is not something that you're supposed to be watching all the time. So just leave me on the corner and I'll be talking as I do this. There's going to be a small break in between because I need some time to get a coffee. Yeah, and we're going to get a lot done. I mean, those are all the views that we said that we're going to be building, right? So a store funnel, I want to see my acquisition starts per country. Then I want to have maybe a tab with a specific country or a specific set of countries. Then also acquisition per source, per page type, product page, search term, and traffic source. And also my updates and re-downloads. So it is a lot, of course. A lot of this is going to be just copy paste and change the metrics and dimensions itself. But maybe you also have to do some building from scratch. So I think that's going to be a bit of both, to be honest. Okay. And by the way, so this is the master template that I have. I already have some visualizations that I built myself. So I'm also thinking to save some time. I'm also going to just copy and paste this because honestly it's ready. So we can also save some time by just copy and pasting this stuff. Right? Okay. So let's go. Just open this here. It's empty. Nice. No problem. You know what I would love to have on Looker? I would love to have repeatable blocks. I would love to have like my header section, for example, and then each new page that I create comes with this. It would be really cool. But I don't think they have it for now. But it would be an awesome addition, to be honest. So let me just check a couple things. So I get started. Let's go. Let me also check if everything is running on LinkedIn and Twitter, X, whatever it's called these days. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. We are ready. To actually remove the music because maybe you have your own thing. So let's remove that. Okay. Let's get started. Nice. Okay, where do we start? So we have acquisition and then per country. And then we also want to have all these dimensions. Okay, in terms of structure, I'm thinking something similar to what we have. So maybe like a view with the Play and the App Store combined, like we have here, and then dedicated pages for the App Store only and for Google Play only. What do you think? I could also do like just acquisition, and then on the inside I have Google Play, App Store, and overview. Good question. I think it's a very different use case, right? I'm also thinking that like these combined views, they're interesting. But honestly, this is not the kind of thing that you're going to look at. I think if you're actually analyzing the performance of your app, you want to drill down on a specific store and on a specific app or even country. So these combined views, they're okay. But maybe the most interesting part is really just drilling down in one app. So if that's the case, I think we're going to go forward with something like this. So we're going to have a combined view and then the specific view. So let's start by building that. So if you don't know how to create pages and group these pages on Looker Studio, you just click here on this thing, and then you're going to have this tab. And then there's a few options here. So there's a divider, which is something like this. So it's just a line to separate your content. And then you have either a header or this. Actually, I haven't used this before. How this looks like. Oh, this is cool. This is really cool. Okay. So let's explore that, because usually I go with sections, but I'm gonna go with a header. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a header and a section. So for example, one of the headers is going to be so it's App Store plus Google Play. Oh, this, it's really buggy. You see? Oh, Jesus. So let's just copy paste. Okay. And this is the App Store only. Can we have an emoji? Yes, we do. Nice. By the way, the shortcut for that on the Mac is it's Control Command Space. So another header is going to be Google Play. Then Google Play, it's Play. It's a play icon, of course. Okay. So first you have the overviews. So we're going to have the overview, and then you will have the overview simplified. Okay, and then we have Google Play and the App Store. Let's see how this looks like. Okay, you know what? I don't think we need this. Yes. Then now we're going to have sections. So this is going to be so inside Google Play. Oh, you know what? Let's just do pages for now instead of sections. If we need sections, we can add those later. Okay, so now we have App Store plus Google Play, and we have these 2 pages. By the way, you could also change this. So instead of on the left, you can also have this on a tab. But then you don't have what's happening with the headers then. I have no idea. Personally, I like the left thing, but you could also do it in a different way. Okay, let me duplicate this. And this first thing is going to be, so let's do the simple thing, which is my main acquisition metric, which is my app installs per country. Let's go this installs per country. See how this looks like. Yeah, I think we do need a thing. Cool. Okay, so let's do Google Play first. Actually, let's go with the App Store. And I also want to do a test. Because as I told you, I already have this, right? This is more of an overview because I also have my in-app purchases, for example, but we could just remove this. And then we have our downloads per day. And then we keep also this breakdown per country. Yeah, or we just get rid of this because we don't need it. Okay, let's see. First, I want to see, like, if I copy paste this from one template to the other, is this still going to work? Nope. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It does. But what about the sources? Sales trends. Let me see here. Okay, so it didn't create another sales and trends. This, by the way, I can remove because I'm not going to use it. Okay. Okay, so apparently it didn't create another data source, which is very good news. Good news. Okay. So I'm going to remove this. And because this is an App Store thing, I'm also going to add the logo because I have something that when people look at it, they already know, okay, so this is for the App Store, right? I think that's good. Then let's share. I think that's a lot. Let's have, this is a personal preference, right? I'm going to go with quarter to date because usually we have quarterly goals. So it makes sense to look at my data quarterly. But you could also do year to date, month to date, last 28 days, whatever works best for you. But for the specific views, we are going to go with quarter to date. Quarter to date, basically. Nice. No, but let's look at the App Store. So if we come to sales and trends, how do they display this? I think first they have this, which is the equivalent of the overview, right? But now we're looking at acquisition. So it would be something like this, probably. It's taking forever to load. Let's look at analytics. Okay, small bug. Yeah, the App Store is being the App Store. Okay, but we can see it here. So this is, again, an overview. That's not what we want. We want a specific view. So what they do is that they show, okay, so these are your total downloads. You can pick the metric here. And then you have all these days, right? So this is okay, but I think we can do better. For example, something that I really like is that they do this. So they have the main metric on the top, and then they also have this, right? So I'm not going to go with retention because this is an acquisition view, but I like these two, for example, the territory, which is the country, and the device. I think this is pretty nice. So I'm thinking we keep the overview, and I want to have the total, not only the chart. I want to have a table as well, because that's interesting. But then I also want to have this. But then I want to have both. I want to have this per country. And then I also want to have this per device. I'm thinking if this is actually useful. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But maybe it's not really what we need, right? It's not really useful. It's just beautiful. So we're probably going to change that as well. We could have this per country, but also per day. I think that would be cool. Okay, so I know what to do. Let's build it. So first of all, I do have my title here, which is the app name. Let's change this. I'm gonna have this filter here, so people can change the app. So that's the title field. I'm going to call this app. Then just to be consistent. Oh, it's not here. It's here. Also, maybe make this a bit smaller. So I always like having the app filter here. So you can choose it. In this case, I only have one app. But if you have multiple, then you could see that. And that's because I want to get rid of this column because it's useless, basically. So I'm going to remove this. Also want to make this smaller because I want to have more space for the actual chart. Let me see here. This is filtered. Okay, good. Good. How do they label this? It's just I mean, I'm just going to have installs, because what we could also do is, instead of daily, you could have this per week, per quarter, per month, even per year. So I'm going to remove daily, the daily word, I mean, because then it's more flexible. I also want to continue this style. So I'm going to bring it here. Because I also think it's easier to align stuff if you have a box. Nice. Okay. What I'm thinking, something that I care a lot is making it transparent. What is this thing? Like, I'm saying that it is installs, but ideally you would have the same name as we have here. So these are units, basically. And it's an app install unit. So it's not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. But I think it is important to do something like that. I also want to have a summary. So I want to, look at this and okay, now I know how many units I had. The thing is that I also have this line chart. Should we replace this? Let's just make an experiment. Okay. Let's experiment using this. I want to have not decimal. This doesn't make sense. I could fill this. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Border shadow, not really. We already have a box. The thing is that we don't have the axis, right? If there was an option here, we can do stuff like that. Yeah. What I don't like about this is that I can't see a specific date. Jesus. Yeah. So when I hover, like, I can't see the details. That's the problem with this. I'm gonna remove this. Let's bring this back. Actually, sorry. Let's not remove, because I still want to have this. But let's do this differently. So first of all, I want to get rid of the spark line. Is there an option to do that? Not really. Not really. So I want to hide the metric name. I'm gonna do this, and then this. So this is hiding, basically. It's forcing. This makes sense. I mean, I could do this, but then I have to bring the metric name back. Yeah. Or I could do something like this. I could do this. If I add a background, this, and then I can make this bigger again. I could do this. Yeah. This is interesting. Okay, I also really like this kind of naked thing, but I think when you go into the details, you do want to see everything, and it's really a preference thing. For example, some people like bars. But I think for this type of chart, really the lines is the best thing to do. Data labels, I mean, it's complex because if your app has a lot of downloads, like dozens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions, then it's going to get very ugly very fast. So I prefer to keep it this way, to be honest. I'm going to remove the thing. Nice. And then what I also want to add, I think this is really cool. So something that you can do is here on the right side, there's an option with the default date range. I'm leaving to auto. This means that it's going to use this filter instead. And then I also have this, the comparison date range. This is awesome. Because what I'm going to do here, I always choose previous period. Let me show you how this looks like. So it's going to compare the last period against this one. So I see, okay, what's the difference? So I can see, for example, so looking at the last quarter, that was October, you can see how many more downloads I have now, right? So this is super nice. You just have to be mindful of the colors because, of course, like you don't want to have your previous period kind of conflicting visually with this. But I think this color is actually okay. This color is acceptable. So let's go with this one. I think this is all right. Nice. And then what we can also do is apply the same logic here. I mean, do we want to do that? because let me show you how this is going to look like. It's going to create another column with a delta, basically. It doesn't always work. I don't even know why it's not working, to be honest. But anyway, I think this is like too cluttered if we do that. Okay, another thing I want to do here. I was thinking maybe naked headers. No, like no header whatsoever. You know what? No, I think it's interesting to see, right? Yeah. No, let's leave it. I think it's okay. It's okay. By the way, something that you can do, you can click here and you can export this data. Nice. Okay, so this is the app installs. The overview. And then we want to have kind of the same for the country. We were doing this, but so this was supposed to be a country only view. But we are also improvising a bit. It can be difficult to do this. I don't know if there's a shortcut, by the way, to send this to back. Okay, so we're going to change the name. So this is going to be called like the overview of your app store. Okay, so this is per country. And you have your installs. I really like these bars, by the way. Let me just make this a bit bigger. Refresh. Too much sun. Okay, good. Okay, so this is the country. View, and then what I'm gonna do, so I'm going to make this, leave this as is, and then I'm going to have a copy of this page with then a breakdown per country. Let me just make this labels bigger because this is not easy to read. So I'm going to have a breakdown of this. Then what's cool is that we can then have a filter. We can then have a time series chart like we have above. But for now, let me see what else we have interesting here. We have the device. That's something that people really like. So let's have the device here. And again, we're filtering this by installs. Good. I think that now here it does make sense to have the naked header. There's no pagination. I mean, there's not a lot of devices you can have. So let's. I totally forgot how to remove the header. Or maybe the question is it possible? So these are the controls of the metrics, tooltip, so this is the other thing. Footer, body, labels, header. Here. Also not a fan of these lines, to be honest. Let's see how the App Store does it. I mean, it is a line. A bit ugly though. Do we need the number? I don't think we need a number. Yeah, I think this is much cleaner. Yeah, let's do the same here. So let's remove the header. Let's remove the row thing. Okay, and then we have too much data here. Let's limit this. Let's keep the top 10. And then we don't need the scroll. The user can just use the pagination. Nice. Here's just 5. I'm not gonna have more than that, I think. Is there something else? Is there something else? So we have the country. We have the device. maybe just one more thing. Country code, category, promo code, SKU. I mean, we'll have the version. Is that interesting though? I think for the version, it's cool to see, for example, the active devices. Like how many people adopted this version. But the rest, I really don't know. No, I'm thinking this is too much. This is going to create just noise and clutter. The rest is not interesting. The category, I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Developer, there's just one. Yeah, no, let's just remove this. Let's remove this. I was thinking about updates, re-downloads, etc. But I think we're better off having specific fields for that, actually. So let's stretch this. Okay. Nice. And of course, we also stretch this. I was thinking it would be really cool, but then it's a different view. Because something that you can do here is to set a target. So you can have a reference line, right? And then, for example, I'm having like 30 downloads per day, and then my target is 45, right? Or maybe 40. It's closer. And then I can call this my target. Okay, so now I know I'm making like 20 something downloads per day. App install, sorry. And but I want to have 45. So that's cool. So that means like I can look at this and then I can see if my targets are being met or not. I think that's a super nice addition. So we're gonna leave it. I mean, we could even have a view only with that, only for to keep your targets. But for now it is okay. Something else I'm thinking is the comparison here. Yes, I think this was missing. This was 100% missing. And it already says from the previous quarter, which is pretty cool. I want to have this a bit closer. Yeah. I mean, I like it more here, to be honest. But then I have to give it a bit more space. By the way, you have to hit shift if you want to go down slowly like I'm doing now. Nice. I think this is ready. I'm just going to change the background header color a bit. Header. Yes, just so it's more, it's a bit more subtle. Okay. So this is the front page. Let's make this bigger because otherwise I have a huge white space in the middle. Okay, nice. So now I want to have I think pair sounds a bit strange. It's the country breakdown, the rice breakdown. Now there's more stuff missing here. So let's have something. So whenever I have a table like this, I think it's cool to have a filter. Right, so we're going to add control. Think any, no, not an input box. The drop down, I think it's always the best option. Country code. But then I want to have this white. Some people really don't like the country code thing. They like the country name. I mean, this is what we get from the API. But at some point, we should also make kind of a translator for this. Okay, so let's group this. And to count this country. We can also make this smaller. Nice. And then here I want to do the same. But then, of course, instead of country, this is the device. Device. And then we group this and we're done. We are done. We can give it more space, less space. I mean, there's really a preference component, of course, but this is it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to duplicate this to have our country breakdown. So now it's just, so this is installs, just app installs. Then I'm gonna duplicate. So, but this is all the trends report. Now, so this installs per country. Nice. So let's see. How this looks like now. Yeah, nice. So Google Play App Store. Good. Okay, so this is going to, let's do this very fast. So here I'm going to get rid, like, why do I have so many things, man? Jesus. Come on. So I'm going to use a stacked area. You're going to see why in a second. Then we're going to remove the reference line because I think this doesn't make sense on this context unless you have targets per country, but then you need to do a different thing. Okay, and then, so if I want to see this per country, the only thing I need to do is to add a new dimension. See, by the way, if I can make this a bit bigger for you. Yeah. So you can see here that breakdown dimension. I guess the product type name for now. We don't want this. We want the country code. Nice. And now I have many. I don't think this makes sense to have this many countries. I want to focus on my top 3. Right? And then what I also want to do is to have some kind of label. Just, I think in the bottom works. I mean, could be at the very top as well. I don't like that it's so close. I mean, this looks better. I'm not going to have this. We can get rid of this. We're going to let's ungroup this because now I actually want, Jesus Christ. Ungroup. Oof, finally. So I want to have this here. Where it makes more sense. And this is for this whole page. So if I select US, it's going to filter everything now. So this is what we want. So nice and easy. Just open here. Let's stretch this. Let's go back. I want to see all my countries. Okay, so I see all my countries. I mean, there's a way to select a color. But then really, I don't want to go into this, at least not on this live. You could also do this, but I think it's very ugly. We could have a version with 100% stacked. I don't think this makes sense as well. We could do, I like this as well, the bar, but then on a different setup. So this is the date again. And then this is the country code. Nice, but just again, top 3. I don't want this to be too messy. I really don't like these colors. Oh, here's what I like about this, because then you can basically select just a single color. It's just much cleaner, much cleaner. The sorting, by the way, is going to be not units. This doesn't make sense. It is date ascending. Nice. Okay, so now I guess the same, but per country. Then we can give it some space. Nice. Nice. Can we make this like this? Yes, we can. And then because this is a dedicated view, so first let's use the same color, right? It doesn't make sense to go orange. Let's go with the same dark blue. Of course, you can pick whatever color you want. But because we're just looking at this, I want to have way more options. So instead of 10, I want to have like 25. Maybe 20. Yeah. How much do I need to stretch this so I don't have the thing? Yes. Okay, so you made it all fit. But actually, oh, this doesn't make sense. I mean, we could have kind of country ranking, but I think it would make more sense to have this by date instead. But then date, yeah, and then also these bars don't look great. Yeah, I think I'm going to remove the bars then. I'm going to remove the bars. Yeah, I'm really struggling here if we should have. It does make sense to have the header again. So we could have a heat map. But I don't really like this, to be honest. Do we have like conditional formatting? Yes, color scale, tire row. Yeah, maybe something like this. And then we don't need the heat map. Yeah, it disappeared. But I wanted like the whole row. This part makes more sense. Is this interesting or is it just noise? I think this doesn't look good. No, let's drop this. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any sense. Oh no, what we could do? This is cool. Okay, so let me let me do this. Let's just have the number. It's all right. No big deal. Then we're going to have the date again. I think some people will really like this. So what you can do, you can change the aggregation on Looker Studio. So for example, I want to have the day of the week. This is nice. I'm gonna call this day of week. Oh, it's really slow again. So if you're working on Looker Studio a lot, you notice that it starts to get slow as you make a lot of changes. So the best medicine is just reset it. Yeah, I think this is cool. Because we have the date, we have the week. Do we need a year? I mean, if we're looking at December versus January, yes, but usually, honestly, looks cluttered, for me at least. Do we have a format without the thing? No. Well, like just month, date, month, day. Yeah, this works. Just call this date. Yeah, look at that. It's nice, huh? Then we need to order by date. So now we have the days of the week. It's interesting. So you can see, for example, if you have a dip, then you know, okay, so this was a Sunday, this was Monday, whatever. And you start seeing the correlation. I could even do a separate view with that. Very interesting analysis. Huh, let's do that after I finish this. Like, this is huge. This table is huge. That's the only thing I don't like. How big is this table, really? But I mean, if you come to the overview, I think it looks okayish. I think the alignment here is a bit odd. Yeah, so let's do this, and then we can remove this a bit more. The bar chart, I mean, is okay. So if you want, you can have a line chart instead. Honestly, I don't mind at all. And here we can filter by country. So for example, if you just want to see the US and Canada, for example, then there you have it. Cool. Cool. What's this? What's this? What's this? So budget true or can only true or false. Okay, then never mind. Just experimenting a bit. Nice. Okay, I'm exploring with these buttons. We can then download. We could also have an icon or something. Let me see how this looks like. Boom. Download the report. Nice. Okay. Password protected. Yeah, this is cool. This is cool. So let's do that. Let me just, I have something like written. Oh, this is too written. No, it doesn't have the font that I like to use for this stuff. So let's just keep things simple and use the same. Okay, but this is too big. 14, and then maybe slightly. Oh, Jesus. I have a softer color, so maybe something like this. I could have an icon. For now, I'm just going to leave it. This is cool, right? So I made my report. So let's say I only want to see the US, for example. Then I click here. I download the report. So we're going to keep this thing in our pages because it looks cool. I could even have this button here, to be honest. But I think this place is as good as any. Nice. Nice. Okay, so now we have 2 pages. So we have installs per country, but there's I'm putting an extra effort on the visualization here with the filters and so on. But then when we're going to apply this to Google Play, we can just copy paste, right? We don't have to do stuff from scratch. We can just save us the time. So I'll just bring this to the top a bit. Okay, so we have this, we have kind of installs, overview. This I'm going to just copy and paste from my dashboard. Okay. Okay, let's do this. I also want to have, now I want to do it day of the week analysis. Should we do this? Let's leave this idea for another stream. So I'm gonna open my Notion page here. You're not going to see anything. So I'm going to put this on my thing. Jesus. So day of the week analysis. This is cool. Yeah. You understand when I do it. Okay. Okay. Let's make the next page to a specific country. So this is so a lot of the times people come to me to ask, hey, like, for example, let's say I care a lot about the US and I treat this market with a lot of care because it's the biggest one. But then I also have these markets where I'm growing, let's say on Latin America. So I want to look at only those markets and so on. So like to do this is super easy. You just have to duplicate this thing and make it country specific. And then you just block those markets, right? So I'm going to just make one as an example. But then really, so let's do, let's use the same thing. So I have this version, it's only US and Canada. So what I'm gonna do, you have this, there's multiple ways of doing it. So you could write this down here. For example, I'm gonna say US C, Jesus Christ, CN, and that's it. So it's filtered, and because it is here, even if I refresh this page, it's gonna keep those filters, right? So it's still here. Then on here, remember I had it, but because it was not saved on the setup on the right side, then it didn't save. So that's it really. So that's done. We can make this nicer by adding some flags. Why is it not saving? Nice. And then when I go here, it looks a bit nicer with the flags and everything. Okay, so that's another one. So let me just. So all the iOS is done. I'm going to just replicate this for Google Play as well. And then we're going to get into the store funnel and other stuff. Oh, we have this. We have this. Okay. Okay, so this was the first part. So then on the next section now, I'm going to do the same thing for Google Play. I'm also going to create a simple page for this. I'm going to follow the same logic as the country. I'm just going to change the filters and that's it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time building stuff from scratch. For this, I do want to use the templates that I already have as well. I mean, this is super nice. For example, this is cool. So I want to use this, for example, so we don't have to build it again. And then for Google Play, we have the same thing. I already have a lot ready, so I don't have to build it from scratch. But now I'm actually going to take a break. Just going to get myself a cup of coffee, and then I'll be back in a few minutes. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to add a new page. Oh, well, not that back. Nice. Bigger. Okay. So I see you in 5 minutes. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. I'm back. By the ways, if you're watching this and if you haven't checked Easy App reports yet, go do that now. I mean, you can connect your App Store and Google Play data directly to Looker Studio, and you can even have your data on BigQuery if you want. It's cool because then the data is really 100% yours. So what we do is that we save the data in our customer's project, and that's it basically. So feel free to go there, explore. If you have questions, let me know. Okay, let's go back because I also realized that if we continue on this pace, this means that today we're going to have our first new template ready, which is pretty cool. It's pretty exciting. I mean, I want to have multiple versions of this. I'm thinking, for example, having one version only for iOS, another only for Google Play, and then you have this which is combined. But it's pretty cool. So let's wrap this up today, because then tomorrow this can already be available for all Easy App Reports customers. So I'm saying tomorrow if you're watching this right now, or today, which is the 23rd of January. But if you are in the future, then you probably already have it. So I have my coffee now. Just take a breath. Ooh, it's hot, hot, hot. Yes, it is. Okay. Let's start again. Just clean my glasses. But I'm happy on the way how this is turning out. There are a lot of details here that I think our customers are going to be very happy about. Let's go. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so we did the main thing with all the app installs, and then by day, by country, and by device, and then we did the same per country. We even have a specific view for like specific country. Then you could change the name, right? You could call this my US and Canada dashboard. So it could really go wild, like change the colors, put the flag, all those details. But now, here's what we're going to do next. We need a specific view with updates and redownloads. So I'm thinking actually to just copy paste this, to be honest. So let's duplicate. Wow. Okay, we're going to call this updates and redownloads. Should we put them on the same place? I mean, for now, I'm going to say yes. But let's see. Let's see how it turns out. It's buggy. Okay, so updates and redownloads. I'm just gonna going to remove all of this. I'm also going to reduce. So I'm going to have 2 columns. One column with the updates and another with the installs. Now let me also show you something interesting. So on the App Store, basically you have this thing called units, and then a unit can be multiple things. So let me bring this field. So you have this thing called the product type identifier. Let me order by date. Okay. And then on the product type, you have multiple types. So you have the redownloads, you have the updates, free or paid app installs, and in-app purchases. All right, so all those 4 are within a unit. So what we have to do here is basically to filter those things. So we want a filter with the updates and a filter with redownloads. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this table here. So I know the filter. I'm going to go down, add a filter, create filter. I'm going to call this query. So why B, Q, and A? So that's BigQuery source. It's important because the name of the fields are different. A because it is Apple, and then I'm going to say updates. Then I'm going to include the product type name, which is the name of the field, equals to update. Be careful that this is sensitive. How to say it? Time sensitive? No, it's not time sensitive. I forgot. Anyway, just save. So now we're filtering updates. Didn't work. Why? Maybe it's updates. Why is not working? Update. Update. Oh, I see. This is the classic Looker Studio bug. Okay, it's fixed by itself. So let's call this updates. And then I'm going to apply the same filter for this as well. I have to do this one by one. Update. This is update. No data, no data, no data, no data. Why Looker? So here you see why. Because for some reason it didn't remove the other filter. I'm also going to remove the target because this makes no sense whatsoever. Where is it? Jesus Christ. Reference line. Okay, it's not the most beautiful thing, but I think it's also because, I mean, my app is very small. So any other app would have like hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands of updates. I'm going to remove this. And then these are updates. I'm customizing everything. I think it does make a difference. This doesn't have to be like that. Updates. I'm going to leave it because if someone enables the thing, then like I want to make sure that they have the right labels. Only now realized I'm using more than one color. I think this is too flashy. Let's keep this simple. No, I'm not going to change the position, because then if you change tabs, then you're going to find this to be strange. Okay, and then this is downloads. Nice. Same thing. So I'm going to remove this filter. Going to create a filter again. BigQuery, Apple. Product type. Redownload. Okay, nice. Now I'm going to do the same thing here. Just remove this. And again, same thing here. And we are done. Why? Why is the color different? Okay, I think we're having the same bug. Let me refresh. Can I change the colors at the same time? No, I don't think so. Why are you being stubborn? Now I have to go back in the other pages and do the same change, but that's all right. We don't have many so far, at least. Okay. Now, redownloads. Redownloads. Okay, it's all the same. Yes, I don't like that this is not 5. Can we round this? Can we round this? Okay, we can. Good. Good. I don't like the previous period thing though. So I'm gonna remove it. Okay, good. Okay, so this is also ready. So updates and redownloads. I do think this makes more sense like this. Nice. I'm also going to bring some stuff from here. So I want to have this. I want to have this. I don't want to have this because for this template, we're not focusing on sales. So the use case is an app that is not monetizing whatsoever. So we're going to focus on that. Okay. Can we do the same trick? Can we do the same trick? So let's see. You know what? Actually, I mean, this will be interesting. This is extra. But it's all right. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Let's first, I want to have this button everywhere. Just so it is consistent. Sorry, I'm thinking. I'm thinking so fast that it would be hard to say. I'm thinking a lot of things. Let me just organize my thoughts first. Okay, got it. So I'm going to start by duplicating this. Then I'm going to call this, so this star funnel. Star funnel, so it's from an impression all the way to downloads. Whoa. I'm going to delete this for now. These two. I'll read this as well. Then I'm gonna copy this, and this also will not make sense. Have this traffic lights. I have no idea why do we have a funnel. You know what? I'm not going to use any emojis here. I'm going to drop this because this is a different source. So that's the thing that I was also thinking. Because with these other reports, we were using the sales and trends data source. But as we get into the star funnel stuff, then we have to use analytics, which is different. So probably now it is the time to create a section. Oh, God. I'd really love less bugs on Looker. So we are going to do this, and then we're going to have an analytics section where we have this. So this makes way more sense. Because this is a different data set, right? So you're going to have different filters, different fields, different data sources. If you start mixing those, I mean, we could, and we should probably on the overview, we can mix all those things together. But honestly, for now, let's not do that. Just for now. Okay. Cool. And now we have, so let's just look at the other options that we have. Because we have this, but we also have, we have this, which is cool. I'm just going to copy and paste this, by the way. What's this? Something that shouldn't be here. Install sales. Yeah, what we can do though, we can bring this. We don't need this. We're going to just do this instead. Do. It's a problem because there's no way to put a percentage here because of the aggregation. So we have to force this. Okay, so this is the funnel. I don't want to have the installations here. I think that's silly. I want to have total downloads. But if you're wondering, okay, like how do I know that this is really a total download? It's because I already made a filter before. But if I want to double check, I could just duplicate this, have it on a table, pull the whole data, and then I would know for sure. Let's just stretch this a bit. Nice, because then now we have, okay, so from the impressions, so unique impressions, product page views, conversion rate, and my total downloads. Okay, so this is pretty cool. I should find a way to put some music here. That would be really fun. Nice. Okay, good. So, I mean, we already have this, right? And we have this filter, which is already a summary, impressions, product page views, So I'm thinking this is done. So we just remove this. We also remove this, remove this, remove that. This is the advantage, by the way, of having this data, like all these metrics combined, because now I can do a pivot table like this. Because if it was any other data set, I would have to split this up. But I don't. So let's just fix a few things here, because, for example, this is not ordered by date. So we want to fix that. No. Why does it count? Okay. Okay, because this is it's a pivot table. Let's just undo things here. Oh, this is the metric. Jesus. Okay, now we have the sorting. Let's just show some stuff here. I mean, I want to have... Let's do 10, just to start. Let's do... I really wanted to order... So we're almost there. Yeah, that's the problem with pivot tables, because now I wanted to sort by the date, but I actually can't, because the date unless move it here. No, of course not. Of course not. I think this is the best that we can do. I mean, there is a way, but then we wouldn't have all these nice metrics alongside each other. So it's really a compromise. What do we prefer? I think that's the real question. I could have, for example, only the total downloads. I could have only the total downloads, for example. But I don't think that makes sense. We can also get rid of this pivot table. Just have a regular table. It's a nice challenge. I honestly don't know how to solve this. Oh, I know what we can do. Okay, I got it. What we can do is that we can have a table, and then it is possible to have a filter where we can choose which metrics do we want to see. So let's delete these. I'm going to add a chart. I'm also going to add a filter here. The first one is going to be analytics. I want to have analytics per country, actually. I think that's the gain that we're going to have. So I'm going to bring this. Because then we can also break this down per country. Select all of this. Remove. Analytics country. Okay, and we are going to use date. So we have a nice filter. Good. Now we actually going to bring the measure. Let me refresh. Okay. So by the way, probably you're already noticing that these analytics datasets, they are very different from the others, because usually you have specific columns, right? You would have here total downloads, first time downloads, impressions, conversion rate, etc. Here, now you have this measure field, and then within the measure, let me order by date, and then you see, okay, and then you see sales, active devices, installs, deletions, etc. So it is very different. It is very, very different. And that really changes the way how then we have to build this stuff. Cool. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a control here. And then this is going to be it's called measure. I mean, this should be really the dimension. And then here they can choose. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave a predefined option. just so this is organized. Then we can bring the app name instead. Does this make sense? I mean, we can do the same as the auto dashboard and just bring the day of the week. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. I'm just ignoring this call. Nice, so let's do that. So I'm going to add the date. Again, I'm going to remove this. Then here, it's gonna be the day of the week. Nice. So now we have the day of the week. I have to sort this by the date, of course. Descending could be ascending as well. Really, so it's a preference thing. Then so the value is the total downloads, right? So you have on the 1st of January, that's Monday, you had 23 total downloads. That's how to read this thing. Cool. Okay. Cool. And then we have all the comparisons. I mean, I think this is looking pretty nice. What I would do here instead, why do I have record count? Oh, okay. So record count is the amount of rows that you have in your data set. We don't want to use that. We want to use the value. Because now it's going to be ordered. Show the top 25. So those are things that you can do also to improve the performance of your dashboard, like remove some of this just so it's easier to read. Okay. Then we can also have a NAP filter. As a matter of fact, I think we should have a NAP filter. Okay, cool. So this is my App Store funnel, impressions, product page views, conversion rate, total downloads. And this is it, but there's something strange because these numbers are all the same. Because for some reason this lost the filter. Product page views. And these are the impressions. Let me guess. I now have two filters, but I can't see. There's some hidden filter here. Oh, I see. I see. It's because we didn't group this. So when we filter, when we apply this filter, it's applying to everything. So we have to group. Otherwise, these will be affected as well. Just refresh now. Okay. These now make sense. Just filter by the impressions. Here, product page views. This should be the conversion rate. And this total downloads. Nice. Okay, and then I can change this if I want. So if I'm viewing the data, I can select impressions instead. This is going to change, but these at the top remain the same. Awesome. Okay, so this looks great. I have the filters, the title, everything is organized. Nice. I don't like this. So we're going to change the name a little bit. Hey, Sandovas. Good to see you, mate. Okay. Okay, this is done. So we made this for iOS. So we have this. So let's do the same Android. Okay. So this was just funnel, which is done. And this. Okay. So before I move forward, let's wrap this up. So this is done for iOS. I'm going to create the same thing for Google Play. It's going to be much cleaner because I even think that for Google Play, we don't really have all of this. Or do we? I don't know. Let's find out. So let's start. I'm going to remove this one. Let's bring to Google Play. Why is Looker like this? I don't know. Okay, let's remove the logo. Let me just, before removing that, let's get the logo. Oh, it's white. It's white. Why? Let me see if I have another one. Oh, this is white again. No, there's a million screenshots. Oh, here. That's what I wanted. That's even better. Let me just make this the same size for deleting. Okay, good. Good. Okay. And then let's break this. Let's break all of this. Let's break all of this. also this. Let's look at our data sources. Okay, so we already have installs per country. I think it is here. Let me just check that. I'm going to stop sharing for a second, just so I see what's the underlying data source. I'm going to transform this into a table. Okay. Checking, because I think the last time I didn't have to change the time to label this properly. But that's okay now. So what we're going to do is to just select all of this. Yeah, I know. Installs. Great. It works. Just like that. Select the date. This is also good. Okay, so this is I think I have two data sources with the same thing. Yes. Okay, let me just fix this very quickly. In the end, but I think I'm gonna just organize all of the data sources. Nice. Okay. Okay, let me refresh because I changed this so many times. So for some reason this is empty. Could it be because this is my demo dataset? Okay. Let me just make a note here for myself. Okay, done. Okay, so this is interesting, right? This is very different because now I have two apps and they have very different performances. So you can already see what happens when the dataset is different. The report that we had before for the App Store, we only had one app, and then we only saw one line. Now we have two because we have two apps. I'm not going to filter this because this is a template. So people should be able to pick that. I'm not going to interfere. It's not ideal, but I'm like if this thing is mine, I'm just going to have a fixed filter. So I, for example, only see one app or the other app. But I'm not going to change this manually. Doesn't make sense. Okay, so this is not app installs anymore. But there's something interesting about Google Play because Google Play actually has multiple metrics for installs. So you have the daily device installs, the daily user installs, and then you have the install events. Okay, what's the difference? So first, let's start with daily device and daily user installs. So the difference here is that, so the daily user install, like the name says, this is the installs of the user. So what can happen is that I have my Samsung phone and then I have a tablet as well. So if I look at the user level, if I download this app on both, but I'm looking at daily user installs, I only see one install. So this is more, I think the best way to think of it is daily user installs, kind of unique user installs, right? Maybe it's not really unique user because people have multiple devices on work, at home, but it's as close as you can get to unique. Then you have the daily device installs, and then it's the opposite. So if I download the app in multiple devices, that's all going to count. Cool. Both of them, they are acquisition focused. So this is about new installs, basically. Install events, in the other hand, is about all the installs. So installs and also reinstalls or redownloads, whatever you want to call it. So if I uninstall the app and install again, that's an install event. So you're not going to be counted as a daily user install again. So that's interesting. Personally, what I like to use is like I either go with daily user installs because that's a unique number. So it's more, you can say this is more realistic. And install events is like all the possible install events that you can do. But I mean, there's no right and wrong, right? You could pick either. For this case, I want to go with daily device installs because I want to have more of a acquisition thing. So it's daily user installs. But just be careful also when you're comparing this data to what you see on Google Play because it can be a bit tricky. Sorry, not device. Daily user installs. Great. Okay. So this is daily user installs. Am I using the right one here? No. Ooh, the trap. The trap. We barely avoided this. This will be funny. The dashboard guy doesn't know the metrics he's using. Okay, so now for me, of course, my reference line is It's going to be much higher, right? So I have, actually, I'm going to remove the reference line because I have two apps now. This doesn't make sense. Okay, so you can also notice that I still have my App Store data here. So we're going to fix that in a second. I'm going to show you why this happened, but it has to do with the filters. Okay, so when you click here, you're going to see that you have both connected. So although like it says here that you have Google Play installs country, you actually don't. So we're going to ungroup first. I think that's the more reasonable thing to do. And then we're going to just remove this. Then the same for this. So it's gonna try to reconciliate. Let's see what it does. Yeah, for example, here you can see that there's no device. There's no device. Let's look at actually, let's go to Easy App Reports. So if you are lost, just come here. So come to our wiki, then we have this. We have all the lists here, all the lists with all the different reports available. So it says that we should have a device, but we actually don't. It's interesting. I could bring the app version. I'm not going to do that. So let's do just the country breakdown for now. Pick the date range. I have to refresh. We can make a bingo, right? Every time we refresh. Would be cool. And this broke. Oh yeah, because I forgot to save. Should this be bigger? It could. It doesn't mean that it should. Anyway. Okay, so now we have country daily user installs. Good. Good. I'm gonna again just making the colors and everything the same. Yeah, so this is tricky now. Because we don't have the same device breakdown for Google Play. So we're going to do something different then. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to add a new data source. Also make some notes for myself. We do have installs per app version. I'm going to investigate this. We should have the device available. And then also... So here, I'm gonna bring the version code. So these are all the versions that I have, and this is how many user installs I have. It's not the most beautiful thing, but that is what we have. So I'm going to change this for to change the data set. No. Here the country, this is okay. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to group these things because I don't really want to filter everything, right? Just want to filter these things. Let's refresh. Let me just write this down. Okay. Okay. So now we have it. So this is ready. So this is good for Google Play as well. So what we have to do here is just to basically copy the same thing that we did here. Have the updates, the breakdown per country, etc. So let's do that. I'm going to duplicate this page because what is easier? I mean, I can just duplicate this and change the sources or kind of adapt this. No, you know what? I think, yeah, copying this is much faster. So let's do that. But the naming, I mean, I'm using app installs and installs because that's kind of the name that we see there. But we can also discuss this if this taxonomy makes sense. Maybe we should just call everything app installs. But in the meantime, just click. So replace data sources. is easy if you know what you're doing. So just remove. Pick a real demo. Nice. Oh, now I can see the data for 24. Great. But so as you can see, it's a bit annoying. So when you're using BigQuery, you have to pick what's the date filter that you want to use. Okay, good. So now it's the same, but you can see way more data. Again, we want to have the daily user installs. So I'm replacing, could be daily device installs as well. I mean, a lot of people use it. There's no problem, to be honest. Nice. Okay, yeah, and then here, let's make this special. You know, like a lot of people use this templates, so I think it's worth it to work on the details. For example, the logo. I love to have a variable for the name as well. Nice. So this is daily user installs per country. Daily user installs. Good. Now, okay, another one ready. Let's just duplicate this. Let's do the same. I'm going to come here. US and Canada. I'm picking US and Canada because, of course, you could pick, I don't know, India and Australia if you want, or just India or just Australia or any other country that you want. Cool. Okay, so just one more. There's also the updates and redownloads. I mean, redownloads is kind of a problem because, again, there's no such a metric. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to duplicate this. Updates. Updates. Jesus Christ. Oh, Looker. Why do you do this with me? So I'm going to make my life easier on this one. Just going to do this. And this. And this. So it's going to be update events instead of daily user installs. Wow. So you can really see how the data changes depending on the metric that you're looking at. How did I do the visualization like this? Okay. Okay. Let's keep it the same then. This should be 18. Nice. Okay, so these are all the downloads. Sorry, the updates. This, I think it would make sense to also have, how do you say that again? Jesus Christ. The app version. Yeah. But then the app version makes even more sense if you're looking at active devices, because then you see the active devices per version. That's pretty cool. So let's add that too. No, why? That's because I have an underscore. Okay. Cool. Instead of this, I'm going to break down per app version. Now, this is way more interesting. And then I think we should also do something like this. Okay, so instead of update events, I want to see the active devices. Yeah. Okay, interesting. So you can see my old versions fading out and the new ones fading in. I think this is way too much though. Let's get like the top 6. Then you see the curve falling down a cliff. It's basically because, yeah, it's December, so Yeah, and then we order by active devices. Yes. Let me just check something real quick. As you can really see from this version, the darker one goes out and then the other one goes in. This is interesting, but I don't like the visualization. Oh, this is because I'm looking at multiple apps. But if I do something like this, then this makes more sense. I think. Yeah, so because this is a demo dataset. So that's why it's a bit strange. Yeah, no, this. Okay. Yeah, this is the thing. Good. Because then you can see, okay, this version is fading out and the other version is fading in. This is perfect. This is a demo dataset, so that's why you also have multiple curves, although I just picked one app. If you do this with your app, probably you just have one curve going down and another curve growing again. So let's replace this. Then I want to have, should we put both the date and the app version? It's a bit too much. So we either go with the date or we go with the version code for these purposes. No, the problem is if I do this, then it's going to sum all the active devices. That's about because this is a cumulative metric. So that's the problem. So we're going to have something more like this. And then what you can do is the following. I'm going to change this. So I'm going to change this filter. So instead of filtering per country, you filter per app version. And then you can see, okay, this version, how many active devices did it have? So here, app version, no app name. So the app version, nice. Then select this version, for example. Then I only see this version. It's good. Good. Okay. So by app version. Yeah, I have to fix that. I mean, I'm actually going to remove this because active devices is a cumulative metric, and cumulative metrics don't like scorecards. Just copy the square that I accidentally deleted. Send to back. Good. I just remove this. Have it all. Good. Okay. Done. So this is a visualization that it was not on our site, but we did it anyway. So let's see what we have. We did everything. It's awesome. Okay, so we created for the App Store. We have this version with the app installs, and then per day, per country, per device. We have a specific view only with the countries. And then we even have a version filter by specific countries that we want to see. We have a tab with my updates and my redownloads. Side by side. Good. Then you have all the filters. And then the same for Google Play. So we have the updates, the installs per country again. Yeah, this makes sense. All installs. This is good. Then per country, per app version. We also have the active devices. This is nice. And then we even started with the whole store funnel thing. So what I'm going to do now is that we're going to have the store funnel, which we already do for the App Store. I'm going to add the same thing for Google Play. And then I'm going to close this episode because we're getting to 3 hours. 3 hours. Jesus Christ. Because I'm tired and I want to have lunch. But this has been pretty cool. I mean, we've done some pretty interesting things, especially I loved this target thing and how clean it is. Have all the filters, everything's labeled correctly. I mean, you could go even further and have the definitions of the metrics here. I think that would be really cool. I think that's an addition that we can do on a later episode. But for now, it is all right. So I'm going to close this. Let me refresh just once more. I think the Google guys really hate me right now. Who is this guy in Portugal? Refreshing 100 times. Of course, we pay for it. So I want to see my Google Cloud billing later. Nice. By the way, I'm going to just make this hidden. Good. Now the star funnel. I don't want to make this too long. I mean, we could already use this, right? So I think I'm just going to do an extra episode during the week. So we also have the rest of the star stuff, per count, per search term, per traffic source, whatever. So star funnel. Again, I'm going to I am going to just this and probably just get rid of this. Going to do the same as I did for the App Store. So let's just stretch this a bit. Let me get the thing. Let's do the star performance UTM. So the star performance UTM is the one that contains the traffic sources and the search terms. Then I'm going to pick date. I'm gonna also replace this. Star performance, good. Already bringing the traffic source, great. That's what we want. Nice. And then here. So this is the trick, by the way. So if you want to inverse the logic, if you want to transform a scorecard to something more meaningful, just duplicate the scorecard, select a table. I'm going to pick one with a bar chart. Right? I make the labels bigger. I'm also going to add the bar with the number. Same color, looking good. Then we order this by the date, which makes more sense. Not 100 things, just 20. 20 is enough. We don't need the row numbers. That doesn't make any sense. I also want to have this white. Then I can have all of this with the columns as well. Conversion rate. I want to remove this. This will not work. Okay, this is all. Okay. These are all bars. The second one is the conversion rate. I want to have a heat map instead. Makes more sense. Then this is also same color. Show the number. I mean, this is like this, but maybe lighter. Yeah, like this. Okay, then again, let's fit to date again. No, just don't like this. The conversion rate is too big. Okay, Looker is getting lazy again. Let's refresh. By the way, I see more and more people watching via LinkedIn, which is interesting. And then there's also some people on Twitter or X. Good to have you guys. Okay. Okay. Let's just fix this. So the conversion rate, of course, this is percent. Average. Yeah, average. Then this is also percent. So again, as I explained on the last episode, if you are working with conversion rates, percentages, have a look at your aggregation, okay? Because if you sum, then this will not make sense. Good. So let's just rename this. So this is the star funnel. And then we can just also rename. Conversion rate. And acquisitions. Good. Good. So this is the overview. For the next episode, we're also going to break this down per traffic source, for example. And something that I want to do with all of this is to have some links. So I started to explore this idea here. So I want to have these links. For example, we are here looking at the start funnel. Then I have this link with like C by traffic source, C by search term. And then it jumps to another page with that breakdown. So we're going to be doing that, I think, in the last episode, because those are more like, it's about fine tuning, to be honest. But that's it, guys. I think we made it. Let's see. Yeah, so we do have the star funnel on both. So now we just have to add these things and we are good to go. Then it's just about some activation metrics. But I also have this ready, so this should be quite straightforward. Nice. Oof, I'm tired. I also need to think about this because for the App Store, you have two things. For Google Play, you just have one. I know we could aggregate per like installs, store performance, etc. We can do that. Or we just call like this acquisition. So we can call the same here. And this is the star performance. And we call both of them star performance. And then we have another one with retention. And then when we do the episode where we're going to talk about revenue and subscriptions, then we also have a different group with that. But for today, I think this is it. So we went very far. We have plenty of new pages. Thanks for those who sticked around. It was great to have you. And I'm going to continue. Like I want to kill this thing as soon as possible also, so our customers have access to these new templates. Again, if you want to connect your App Store data and Google Play data to Looker Studio as well, just go to easyappreports.com. There you're going to see, okay, what are all the fields available, how it works, the details about safety and privacy of your data as well, and the pricing. From there, you can just pick a plan, sign up, and give it a try. Okay, so it was a pleasure again, and I see you next time. Bye-bye.